Hello, hello. So, on 18th of November 2025, there been a very important update to the rural renewal stream. So, in this particular presentation, I'm going to take over the explanation of the changes that are upcoming on January of 2026, 1st January 2026, and how does it impact the overall processing of rural renewal stream. So again, let's go into the details. So this is a summary of all rural renewal stream related data, and then I've just highlighted some of the important sections which would be useful to you guys. So let's first look at the update that came out on 18th of November. Effective January 1st, AAIP is going to implement certain changes to the rural renewal stream. Any application received on or after this date will be subject to new criteria. This means that there is a change in the criteria for assessing the rural renewal applications. Due to reduced allocation by Government of Canada, AIP is going to manage the nomination spaces, and that will mean that the allocation to the individual streams can go up or down depending on requirements of Alberta. This we have seen happening over 2025 and also 2024, where the allocations received by Alberta is then sub-allocated to different streams that Alberta runs, and that allocation ratio can also change during the year. What this sounds like is, starting January of 2026, the way Alberta allocates its number to rural renewal stream can change. Will it increase or will it reduce? Only time will say. But the way this particular update is worded, it sounds like the allocation can increase or at least remain same. That is how I read this update. So what I read in this update, the third paragraph of this update says that as the interest in this program has grown. Why does it say that? If you look into the pool of candidates that are in expression of interest, rural renewal stream has only about 3,000 people sitting in the pool. So that is no way a very large number. AOS is number 1, tourism and hospitality is number 2, priority sector is number 3, and then comes number 4 as the rural renewal stream. No doubt it's 4 in the list, but Alberta runs about 8 streams in its kitty. So rural renewal stream is just about in the middle. However, it still says that the interest in program has grown, which indicates that the demand from the rural sector or the rural communities must be increasing. So that is a good news for people. However, to handle this increased demand, there are some changes which Alberta is going to implement. What is that? The changes include establishment of endorsement allocation limits. However, here, before I go into that, just from a point of view of a lawyer language, the changes include, these 4 are not all the changes that are implemented. The changes include, so there are more changes, but these 4 are included in the list of longer or more changes that are being done. Alberta is choosing to highlight these 4 changes, but there are other changes too. So that is what include. If the language would say the changes are, which would mean these are the own 4 changes. Just a legal jumbo. Okay, so changes include. So what are the changes going to be? The 4 major changes going to be: establishment of endorsement allocation limit for each designated community. There is a list of designated community, and what Alberta would do going forward is that it would establish a limit of how many candidates a community can endorse. So that is what it would say. So within the rural renewal stream, there would be a overall allocation, and then that allocation would be broken down by each designated community. It would mean that certain community can get more allocation, certain can get a bit less, but that is what how I read this particular update is establishment of a limit of endorsement for each designated company. Next, introduction of a 1 year validity period for the endorsement of candidate letters. Now, we all know that for rural renewal stream, endorsement of candidate is very important. The job offer that a candidate gets from a business in a designated community needs to be endorsed by the EDO or the Economic Development Office. That endorsement letter is now valid for a 1 year period. Earlier, perhaps it looks like it was valid for the entire employment period, but now the endorsement letters would be valid only for a period of 1 year. Implementation of a tier-based endorsement model. This is what has changed over years, over last couple of years. It started with IRCC and then it is kind of cascading down. It cascaded down to individual provinces, and now it looks like within province of say Alberta, it is cascading down to each of the designated community. What would a tier-based endorsement model would mean? Tier-based endorsement, tier is nothing but your NOC category. So tier is a grouping of different NOCs into one tier, and what it would do is that it would again establish a model where certain NOCs or a certain kind of jobs are required for that province or that endorsement or that rural community. Those would be given a preference over a general list of all NOCs that are valid. So even though rural renewal scheme would support all the valid NOCs in the list, it looks like from January 2026 there would be a gradual implementation of a tier-based endorsement model where the communities can do endorsement based on certain category of jobs or a certain category of job offers. Let's say, for example, just taking an example, say for example, if a community needs construction workers, they can do an endorsement based on job offers which are in the construction sector. Similarly, say based on aviation or based on tourism, whatever the community does in that particular area, or what a community needs in that particular area, would be addressed by a tier-based model. So this would again focus the endorsements to the jobs and the positions that is absolutely needed by that community and province. That is what the tier model will mean. Changing eligibility for foreign nationals within Canada. So right now, if you are a foreign national who is within Canada and who is applying for a rural renewal stream, then you should have, going 1st January 2026, you should have a valid work permit at the time of application and at the time of assessment, which would mean that, say for example, if you are in Canada, not on a work permit, but you are in Canada and you want to apply for a rural renewal stream, you need to already have a work permit to work in Canada at the time of application and at the time of assessment, which means that however time Alberta takes to make the assessment for your application, you should have a valid work permit at both points of time, both at the starting point of creating an application and submitting an application, and the assessment or the end of the assessment period for your application. So you should have a valid permit, work permit throughout. Okay. So four very broad changes that is coming on January 2026. The details of these updates is available on the RRS eligibility. So what I'll do is, since this eligibility has changed a lot, my next presentation would be based on eligibility of for your rural stream. So watch out for that. And in the meantime, in this particular presentation, let's go through the numbers of rural renewal stream. As I was telling you, rural renewal stream has only about 3,000 candidates sitting in the queue. And if you look at the draws for rural renewal stream that happened in 2025, there have been only, I see there's only two draws that happened. One happened in February and another draw happened in May of 2025. So it didn't look like there was a lot of demand in the rural renewal sector. But the way this particular update is worded, it looks like there have been certain discussions or changes going on behind the scene which we might not be aware. And in 2026, we might see a renewed focus on rural renewal stream. Rural renewal stream has around 76 nomination limit, 676 nominations remaining, and 141 applications are pending with AAIP. They are still processing numbers from applications from March of 2025, which is, I would say, like one of the slowest stream in Alberta's kitty. But still, the kind of update that came out, it still points out the fact that rural renewal stream will get more focus, or let's say it that way. Like, I am hoping that rural renewal stream gets more focus, because it's a very good way of getting the people to the right places. Like if you understand the expression of interest point system, just the fact that if you are able to secure a endorsement for rural renewal stream, that endorsement adds a lot of points to your particular profile. Say for example, in AOS, if you have experience in AOS, if you're already working in Alberta, the 55 or 60 score is pretty normal. However, let's go to the the point grid. Let me take you to the points grid. So if you go to the points grid and see here, you would see something which is very interesting. So see, if you have a job offer to work in a rural community, you get 6 points. Right? So you get 10 points for your job offer, and then you get 6 points for your job offer in a rural community. Right? So 16 points here, right? And then just for your job offer you get 16 points. Then for 5 more points you get for your rural renewal designated community. So 21 points based on your rural community. And then if you have a certificate, you get 10 more points, but let's skip that. So for example, if you are somebody who is working in a non-rural community, say you have a job offer of working in a Calgary or Edmonton area, and then compare that with the person who has experience, who has a job offer from a rural community which is properly endorsed and everything, they get 21 points. So you get almost double points for your job offer. Just for a job offer, instead of 10 points, you get more than double. You get 21 points for your rural community. So that's a very important scoring. So say for example, as I was saying, if you have already working in Alberta in AOS, if you're scoring say 55 points, 50 points, you go up to 66 or 60 points, 61 points, just based on your rural. So I hope that rural renewal stream gets a boost in 2026 because I see a similar boost happening in priority sector also. Um, the numbers have changed. If you have looked in my last presentation, the numbers of allocation for priority sector changed a bit. In fact, it increased over the last 4 weeks, which again means that Alberta is reallocating numbers and putting numbers where it belongs, right? Currently, they have only 76 slots remaining. However, this is only 2025 slot, and we are almost just over a month remaining in 2025. So, these numbers would change in 2026. Currently, they had only 1,100 allocations out of 6,000 odd allocations given to rural renewal stream. This should change if the update that is over here, such an important update indicating that the interest in program is growing. If these updates are true, then we should see the numbers of allocation to rural renewal stream also go up. Okay, currently it that was not the case in 2025. However, we can always hope things to improve in 2026. So if you are interested in rural renewal stream, watch out for few of more presentations coming on rural renewal stream, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.